Hey guys, Mike B. Rolling here. I don't know if you can see me very well, but it's obviously nighttime. I'm down here unloading my third and final load for the week. But I had a good question come across there. I just want to let people know, guys, keep them questions coming. That's the whole purpose of this channel, is for me to help out and, you know, people that have anything they want to know in the trucking business. I'm a 30-year veteran, 25-year owner-operator, veteran owner-operator, not a military veteran. Don't want to do the whole stolen valor thing. But yeah, the whole purpose of this channel is for me to help out and pass my knowledge on to people that need it, you know, give back to the community. But I had a good question. Person was asking about bad weather, severe storms, you know, severe winters, that sort of condition. That is a good question. I tell you, it's you really got to be very, very careful, especially being an owner-operator, because you're one person and one truck. You wreck that one truck, and that, I mean, that can be a huge detriment to your business. So, you know, I'm very cautious in the storms. Myself, I don't mind driving through snow. I can drive through a tremendous amount of snow, as long as it's not blowing in blizzard conditions to where I can, you know, remotely see the road. It doesn't bother me. I've got traction for days. You know, I got good tires and good weight, and, you know, I know how to handle my truck, and I know how to keep all the stupid people away from me. You know, if I start to collect too many of them around me, I get out of that situation, you know. But snow, I'll drive through a tremendous amount of snow. Black ice, nope, not doing it. If the freezing rain's falling and those roads are turning to black ice, there is no such thing as a hot load. I don't give a crap, and any dispatcher worth his salt is not going to care if you need to take a break, shut down, let the weather pass, let them salt the roads, whatever. But just shut, even if it's only for a few hours. Don't try to drive on black ice. That is absolutely deadly. I won't do it. In fact, just this last winter, we had a black ice storm, and I had a hot load that they wanted there by, you know, 10 p.m. And I was on track to make it there by 8 p.m. You know, had plenty of time. And freezing rain, man. That road turned slick, and I called dispatch and said, hey, there's no way I'm gonna make this appointment. I can barely keep my truck on the road. I'm doing 25 mile an hour, and I'm still sliding, you know, and I'm loaded. I was, you know, 120,000 pounds, and I was having a hard time. As a matter of fact, trying to turn into the truck stop, I was on the phone with dispatch, and my dispatcher is a very religious person, and she knows that I'm not the kind of guy, that I'm not a sidewalk sissy. If I say the weather's bad and I'm shut down, she knows the weather's bad and I had better shut down, you know. She was actually praying for me over the phone, and I go, oh shit. And she said, what happened? I said, I just tried to turn into the truck stop. I'm doing 25 mile an hour and I couldn't stop. I slid right past the exit, or past the driveway to go to the truck stop. Now I got to go another 15 freaking miles. And she's all freaking out and worried. She's like, just get that truck shut down safely. They'll get that load whenever you can get it there. Don't even worry about it. And I told her, oh, believe me, as quick as I can get this thing off the road safely, I'm getting the hell off of this road. But, you know, yeah, don't let dispatch say, oh, it's a hot load, it's got to go, it's got to be there, because any customer out there has the same issues you do in the trucking industry, and it's insurance costs. If you get into an accident, your insurance costs are going to go up. That's a safety thing. They would never have their employees do anything unsafe to raise their insurance costs, and if they try to penalize you because you didn't do something hazardous, you know, that's not a customer you want anyway. That's not a moral way to do things. And if it's anything about me, I'm a man of my word. I have morals, and if I say I'm going to do something, by God, I do it. And if I can't do it, I'm going to give you a really good explanation of why I can't do it, you know. But yeah, so freezing rain, I shut it down. Super cold temperatures, I always carry the little red bottles of diesel 911. Always carry those in my side box. The fuel dope, I carry that, but typically you don't really have to dope your fuel much anymore. Almost every truck stop and fuel stop around here, when it hits like December, late November, early December, they automatically start doping the fuel anyway. But, you know, sometimes you get a fuel that's maybe doesn't have enough dope in it, and that's where the diesel 911 comes in. A lot of trucks have a fuel filter restriction gauge. If you have like a fancy owner-operator package with the full gauge kit, you'll get a fuel filter restriction gauge. You see that start rising, you know your fuel's gelling up. Excuse me. Or if it's if you don't have that gauge and you're driving down the road and you just notice, man, I feel like my truck's losing power. It's not pulling as good as it should. Fuel filter's clogging. Your fuel's gelling. So just pull over to the side of the road, let it idle. Take that, I usually take, in a situation like that, I'll pull out 2 bottles and I'll put 1 in each tank, because I got, this is a truck that used to have DEF on it, so I got 120 on one side and 150 gallon tank on the other side. So I'll put a bottle in each tank and just let it sit there and idle for 5 or 6, 7 minutes, and then just start slowly going through the gears. And within just a few minutes, man, boom, everything will fall out and free up, and you're good to go. That Diesel 911 is really good stuff. I've been using it for many, many, many years, and it has never let me down. Also, along those same lines, I carry spare fuel filters for the wintertime, because sometimes you just gel up solid and it doesn't want to break loose. Pull your filter, change your fuel filter, put some fresh, I carry a little 1 gallon gas can and spare filters in my side box. So if I do gel up on the side of the road, no matter what the situation, I can drop my filter, put a new cartridge. I've got the Davco drop, screw on filter cartridges. Drop that cartridge out of there, chuck it, slide a new cartridge in there, fill her up with doped fresh diesel fuel, screw her back in. Sometimes you got to give her a little ether shot to get that, get her to pick up and start running again. But once it gets that good fuel back in there, you're good to go. 911 in the tanks, you've got fresh fuel and a clean filter, you're good to go. But that's what I do anyway, and it's saved my bacon more times than I can care to think about. Matter of fact, I've got 2 spare filters in my side box right now. Make sure you got a filter wrench. Freightliners use a specific kind of Davco wrench, and then Packard uses a different kind of wrench. So make sure you got the right filter wrench for your filter housing, and extra filters. Diesel 911, a little bit of fuel dope. Ether, always a good idea in super cold temperatures. You never know if your truck's going to die while you're in somewhere and it sits there for 4 hours at negative 10 degrees outside and it's shut off. You're probably going to have to ether that dude to get her to fire again. So always have starting fluid. I carry a couple of cans every winter, but every fall, starts to get about November or December, I pull the truck up to the shop and empty out the side box and go through my inventory and restock everything and to get ready for the winter time. But freezing rain, I'll shut down all the time. Snow, I don't know how many of you remember, I think it was 3 winters ago. Excuse me, 3 or 4 winters ago, we had a real late snowstorm. It was like late March. It might even have been April, but it was a late snowstorm. And here in Indiana, it was a freaking blizzard, man. It was rough. I knew it was coming, and I knew about what time it was going to hit. And me being the person that I am, I got time. They got 1 more load's got to get covered, and nobody else wants to go because of the storm. I'll get it. I'll go get it. Don't you even worry about it. I'll get it there in time. That didn't happen. I gave it my best, but I did deliver that load. But I delivered that load in a freaking blizzard. I went and picked it up, and I got down. By the time I got coming back out of Detroit, back down towards Indiana, by the time I got to Fort Wayne, it was snowing like a bastard. I mean, blowing and snowing. It was rough. By the time I got to Indy, it was down to 1 lane plowed, and there was 3 or 4 inches of snow on the road at all times, blowing across. People were driving super slow. Matter of fact, where 69 comes down into Indianapolis, it split. It used to. Now they got a new ramp in there, but it used to have a ramp that kind of went up and over, and there was people stuck on the ramp, so you couldn't go 69 south onto 465 west. And I saw that as I was coming up to it, and I was like, nope, ain't doing it. So I grabbed the next lane over, and I went 465 south, went down to the middle, and cut across through the middle of Indy. And wow, that was rough. There wasn't hardly any traffic on the roads by this time. They had already declared a level 3 travel emergency and, get the hell off the roads. When I went through the Spaghetti Bowl downtown Indy, going across 70 back over to the west side of Indy and then come back up to 74 and head out. But when I was going through the Spaghetti Bowl, there was at least 7 to 10 inches of snow on the road. They hadn't even plowed it. It was rough. I had my differential locked in. Thank God I was loaded, or I never would have made it. But I chugged all the way through Indy and got all the way back out here to the west side of Indiana and come out here to deliver the load. They couldn't believe it when I pulled in there. What in the world are you doing here? I said, man, this load's got to be delivered by midnight tonight or it's a service failure. And it was like, I don't know, 7, 8 p.m. at that time. And I was like, I got her here, by golly. Let's get it unloaded so I can get home, because this weather's getting bad and it's going to get a lot worse. So let's go. And I was actually out there. The forklift, you know, you see forklifts, they got them bald tires. They got no traction, you know, and there's a foot of snow on the ground by now. I'm out there with a shoveling a path for him to come in and unload my truck. We fought it, but we got it unloaded. And about that time, I called my wife, said, okay, I'm empty. I'm 20 minutes from home, so I need you to get in the four-wheel drive and very carefully meet me in town, and I'm going to park my truck at the truck stop, because there's no way I'm going to get my driveway drifts over with snow real bad. I've got a tractor to dig it out. It's specifically for digging out the driveway. It's that bad. So I told her, even if you can't make the driveway, drive down through the front yard, get out on the road, meet me in town, and then I'll drive back home. You just got to drive to town. And she's like, okay. I come out of here. I didn't make it, I don't know, 5 minutes up the road. And she called back and said, I'm stuck. And I'm like, oh no, where are you stuck? She goes, I think I'm still I'm maybe on the road. I may be on the driveway. It was so bad. She had come down the driveway and didn't even know where the road was. She drove across the road and down into the ditch. She was stuck like Chuck, man. And this is a big full drive expedition. She could not get that thing out full drive. It was stuck. And I said, well, crap. I said, okay, plan B, I'm coming. Because I knew I could get down the roads, but I knew I just couldn't get in my driveway. But I knew with my truck and trailer, I could get her out of that ditch. And so I went all the way home on them roads. This is a long story, but I'll try to shorten it up a little bit. But I went all the way home. A lot of guys complain about stories, and other people are like, I love your stories, keep going. So I'm going to keep going. So I come down, and I live on blacktop roads out in the country, you know, out in the sticks, so they're not plowed until like the next morning after the storm. So I knew it was going to be a real trick getting home. But I made her all the way to the house, and sure enough, I'm coming down the road, and there's my house, and there's my wife, nose down in the ditch in that expedition. And I thought, oh Lord, this is going to be a trick getting her out of that ditch. She's really down in there, and you couldn't even see the front tire. I mean, it was poof, it was down in the snow. And I knew once I'd driven on the snow, there's no way I'm going to pull her backwards. I'd slip on my own tracks. So I drove past the expedition, put the tail of my flatbed at level with her, and I hooked two 20-foot log chains off the side rail on my flatbed and grabbed the hold of the Reese hitch on the back of the expedition. And I told her, I said, I'm going to go forward nice and easy. When I see in my mirror that chain lift off the road, I said, when you hear my horn, you just turn the wheel to the left and give her hell, you know? And I'm dragging the chain. I'm watching in the mirror, and I see the chain dragging, and I see it start to lift off the road, and I reached up and grabbed the horn, and about the time I put my hand on the horn, she was already giving it hell. She knew what I was doing, and I didn't even hit the gas. I just, about second gear, just a slow roll, and that expedition just kind of, bop. I drug her down the ditch, and she couldn't get up and out of the ditch, and finally it come up out of there on the road. I mean, I'm surprised she did as well as she did, but she's a heck of a driver, I'll give her that. And so we got it out of the ditch, but then they were scared to pull into the driveway to turn around, because the snow was, God, it was 18 to 20 inches deep by then at the very bottom of my driveway. My driveway drifts halfway up because I live way up on a hill. And I actually cut the driveway with a dozer when I built the house. You know, it kind of goes up and then curves and goes up a hill. I mean, it's a tricky driveway in the best of times. So I parked my truck and threw my chain back on the trailer and pulled my tarp back strapper all down. I'm good to go. Now I just got to get her good to go. And I said, okay, we're gonna go up here to the next road and cut back out to the highway and head down to the truck stop. I'll bust the drifts. You just stay way behind me, because I'm gonna snow blast you. But I'll bust through all the drifts with my truck, and then you just follow in my tracks. And she's like, yeah, I feel a lot better, you know, doing that. So she's like, we need to turn it around, and I'm scared to pull in the driveway. I said, well, I'll do that, you know. And I got in it, and hell, I like to play, you know. It was already in 4 high, and I hit the end of that driveway almost fishtailed it to go into the driveway, and about the time I felt it getting stuck, I slammed it in reverse and gunned it. So I like got stuck and then boom, blasted back out of that driveway. Just barely did get that thing turned around without getting stuck. And then I told her, just follow me. We're going to take it nice and easy. It's only about 6 miles, 7 miles to town. So we'll, just follow me. And we made it all the way to town, parked the truck, shut her down. And I drove us back home, and I told her, I said, there's no way we're getting up that driveway. I'm going to go as far as we can. We're going to have to walk the rest. And she's like, okay. And I'm coming down the Blacktop Road, and I turn it into my driveway, and I see that you can't even see. I mean, it's just straight across, but I knew where the phone pole and the mailbox was. I knew my driveway's right here, So I told her, hang on. And four-wheel drive, man, I hit that driveway just as fast as I could go and still make the turn. I was slipping and sliding, but as soon as I got it pointed in the driveway, I put it on the floor, man, and gave it hell. I made it maybe 20 feet and it just buried. Tires weren't even touching the gravel, just lifted right up on the snowdrift, and I was stuck like Chuck, man. That thing was not going to make it. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. We come out, I finally said, okay, we're going to have to walk to the house, and I'll come dig it out tomorrow. I'll bring the tractor out, and I'll dig everything out. But we're home, and we're off the road, so we're safe. Let's just get in the house. And, like I said I live up on a hill, so we're climbing the grass, the front yard, to go up the hill to the house. And we were laughing and crying, and she's like, I'm not gonna make it. Oh my God, snow is so deep, I'm not gonna make it. And I'm like, we gotta make it, we're not gonna die here. And we're laughing and everything. It's only like, I don't even know, 200 yards up to the house, but it's a pretty good climb, and we're in like 2 feet of snow, and the wind's blowing, it's cold, man. It was it was the funniest thing. We'll laugh about that till the day we die. But it just goes to show you, sometimes you have to drive in some gnarly stuff, man. But like I said, snow, I could drive through some tremendous amount of snow, but as soon as you start feeling, everybody's different, as soon as you start feeling unsafe, that, I feel like I've got it in control, but the traffic around me is too heavy and they're getting stupid. And as soon as you start feeling unsafe, immediately start planning, okay, the next truck stop, the next whatever, rest area, I'm getting the heck off this road, And you don't have to shut down for a whole day. Usually, snowstorm will come in, 4, 5, 6 hours, 7 hours, it's blown by, and the plows have got the roads open up. So I usually just call dispatch, say, hey, I'm going to take an unscheduled break because the traveling conditions are extremely hazardous. I'm going to pull over and take a break and reset my clock, give them a chance to clean these roads up, and I'll hit her again tomorrow. Never have they told me, oh, no, you got to go. They know better. Because if they tell you you got to go, and something happens, they're liable. And they know it. So they're not going to tell you that. But, yeah, just kind of a quick video there on driving in extreme conditions and weather conditions. And the wintertime it can be tough, Snow, a little bit of snow doesn't bother me. A lot of snow and blinding, blowing conditions, that bothers me. But, I've driven through it many times. Just, because I don't like to give up. I like to deliver a load when no one else can deliver it. I like to be the one that makes it to deliver it, because dispatch and people like that, they remember that kind of thing. That's a dependable driver right there. Even when the S hits the fan, he'll get it done. I like that reputation. It's taken me a lot of years to build that reputation. But when I call in and say it's too dangerous and I'm shutting my truck down, they know it's bad, because it's got to be bad for me to shut down. But yeah, black ice, nope, won't do it. I wouldn't recommend anybody try it, because it's deadly, man. There's no such thing as traction on ice. I don't care how good of a driver you are. When you lose traction, you're screwed. That truck's going to go or do wherever it wants to go or do, and you ain't changing it. So yeah, black ice it gives me chills just thinking about black ice, man. Dangerous stuff, dangerous. But yeah, just quick video there on driving in winter conditions. You guys keep them questions coming. Do me a favor and like and subscribe, spread the channel. If you know anybody interested in getting into trucking and they'd like some information, hook them up with my channel. Tell them to just watch a video, any video, doesn't matter. Throw a comment in there, and I read all comments. So if they throw a question in the comment section, I will answer it. Yeah, that's about it. About all I got to say. I'm finish this last load. This is my third round to Detroit, man. I'm freaking done. I'm toast. I'm over it. Done. We're going home. Going to bed. Calling it a week. But y'all be good out there. And like I said in the last video, man, stay positive. Don't give up. Don't quit. This can't last forever. It's going to get better. Y'all have a good day, and we'll catch you later.